Good afternoon, amigos, from
Mexico City!
Happy Easter and Feliz Pascua. Today, on Easter Sunday, we have a little bit of a different video for you today. We want to talk about a few of the differences between Easter in the United States and Easter here in Mexico. Let's get us started.
Okay, the first difference that was very noticeable to me, especially as a child growing up in the United States, is the absence of the Easter Bunny. I don't know that it's here in Mexico. It certainly is not in Mexico City. That's something that I remember as a child. I was terrified of mascot things, and I always remember going...
And clowns?
Yes, going and having to take a picture with my new Easter dress. I don't know how many pictures my parents actually got because I was terrified of them, but
let's see if we can...
Easter Bunny versus no Easter Bunny is one of the main differences to me, especially as a child.
Let's see if we can get some of those pictures and put in this video.
Okay.
Are you afraid of that?
Let's not relive my nightmares.
Yeah, and at least from our understanding, and again, we have only been here and during Easter twice in Mexico, so we're still trying to get an understanding of how it is celebrated here, but it does not appear that there's an Easter Bunny tradition, really.
No.
And yeah, definitely, I know that's maybe part more for the kids in the United States, but obviously if you have a family, it's a whole family affair.
Right.
And going along with the Easter Bunny theme, La Coneja de Pascua, I don't know. I don't know if that's what it translates to. In the United States, we also paint eggs is like dying eggs. That's what it is. Oh, salud.
Dying Easter eggs. It's a very big deal. That's another sort of like childhood memory of hiding the eggs and creating an Easter. You would wake up on Easter morning and there would be an Easter basket.
Yeah, so we have a basket that has goodies in it that Easter Bunny brought from you, but also apart from that, there's also, or along with that, we would have an Easter egg hunt, so our parents and family would go put eggs out in the yard, or like plastic, not like actual eggs.
Plastic eggs.
Plastic eggs that might have candies in it, or there might be one that has money in it.
If your mom really loved you, she would wrap one in foil, and that would have like $1 in there.
20 pesos. And I think at the White House they do an Easter egg roll, and maybe we never did an Easter egg roll.
No, I didn't either.
I don't know what part of the country, and I think I don't know. Let us know if you're from the States, if they do that where you're from.
Can you tell me what that is quickly?
I don't exactly know what an Easter egg roll is. I think basically they literally like roll eggs down a hill, and I think like you chase after them. I think.
Oh, that sounds kind of fun.
I maybe just mess it up, but I think they
literally roll eggs.
I think so, yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, but okay. One thing what they do have here in Mexico is, so basically in the States we have spring break is like our big vacation time in the springtime. That is now here in Mexico. So they have Semana Santa and Semana Pascua, the Holy Week and Easter week. And Semana Santa really kicks it off for basically when Mexican nationals go to Vallarta, Cancun, Acapulco.
I think it kicks off like the summer tourism.
Yeah, in a way.
No one's told us that, but I feel like I remember thinking in Vallarta that Semana Santa was going to be like a really busy 2 weeks, and then it was going to clear out, and I feel like it just like really kicked off the summer.
Exactly, and so kids, from what I've read, kids here in school get the whole 2 weeks off, so they don't they don't have spring break, but they do have Semana Santa and Semana Pascua, and I believe some employees, not all employees obviously, will get at least a week or two off. And so that's when you see a lot of families taking vacations. Last year, Vallarta was nuts.
Crazy. I think in contrast to that, in the United States, I think we got Good Friday off, the Friday before Easter, and then perhaps the Monday after Easter, but only if we hadn't used it earlier in the school year for like a bad weather day or something. So I think in the summer for the actual Easter holiday, you may get 1 to 2 days off of school. Work may vary. So it's definitely a different, which leads us into our next difference. I think here in Mexico, Easter and Semana Santa seem to be one of the biggest, if not the absolute biggest celebrated holidays throughout the entire year. And I think I think religiously that may be true in the United States, but I think in terms of family and vacation and things like that, I think it's more perhaps Thanksgiving
or Christmas, I think.
4th of July or Christmas. But again, this varies between families.
It definitely.
I do think the having kiddos having 2 weeks off here makes it a much bigger deal alone based on the time off from school and work.
Yeah, I think it seems, and again, this is just from our perspective, living here and through talking with you all, that it's both a very important religious holiday, if not, I think maybe the most important religious holiday here in Mexico. Let us know. This is kind of what my research has led me to. But also combined with that, a very important family holiday with getting those 1 to 2 weeks off. So it's an interesting combination of not only is it just only the religious part of it, but there's also the family part of it too, which if you really think about it, that's what makes the best holiday. So it's no wonder that it's such a big deal here in Mexico City, or in all of Mexico. And last, and I'm sure there's a lot more than these 4 or 5 that we've mentioned, but one that's very different from what I've read is here in Mexico, they essentially have resurrection reenactments. And so, and I don't think in all cities, I know they have one in Valle de Bravo, and there's a city with an I that you guys have been asking me about, and I can't remember it, nor probably could I pronounce it. But there's some cities here in Mexico that's a very, very important celebration, I suppose. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but basically they have a very real, intense, I guess real would be the right word, a very accurate reenactment of the resurrection of Christ, where you have people or an actor or a person walking through the street that is Jesus wearing a crown, an actual crown of thorns, carrying a cross. You have other people coming through the town carrying crosses.
I think that's all across Mexico. I know we had a friend tell us that's in downtown Querétaro as well. So I think that is something that we don't have. It's almost similar to the birth of Christ around Christmas. I feel like with nativity scenes, sometimes they have a live baby Jesus and things like that that I know of around Christmas time. I just have never heard of reenactments of the actual resurrection. So that's something that's very, very different to us. We did not have a chance to visit that this year, but perhaps sometime in the future. Yeah,
and it seems that's one of the things, for some reason, to me, that's one of the biggest differences. And maybe it's just because Mexico, I believe, is around 90% Catholic. And so you have everybody's kind of united around the same message, the same story, the same traditions. Where in the States, I'm not sure of the percentages, and I know Catholicism is a large percentage, but we're somewhat
diversified
among the different religions. And so some of the traditions around Easter are religious, but at the same time they're more family oriented, if you will, or more, I don't know the right word, kid oriented, to where you could be Methodist, Baptist, atheist, honestly, or Catholic, and you're all doing something similar. And maybe what you do as part of your church might be slightly different. And but I think the all of Mexico, a large majority of Mexico being Catholic, definitely makes Easter and these 2 weeks more of a religious week and a half than it is in the States. Whereas we have Mardi Gras, I believe, is part of the Semana Santa, but even in the States, in New Orleans, that's not exactly a religious, or hasn't been turned into a religious ceremony. It's a party, which Semana Santa can be a party, but it's definitely not religious. But
yeah, I think one of our favorite parts of coming to Mexico is really digging deep into the culture, and I think one of the biggest parts of that is celebrating holidays. So we're curious, what did we miss? What is different? What are some other things that are different? If you happen to live in a different country other than Mexico or the United States, how do you celebrate Easter there? I know I have family members in Poland, and it is completely different than here in Mexico or the States. So
it seems to be an interesting combination of the two, because Poland is a large majority of Catholics as well, so they have some similar traditions.
They paint Easter eggs, like hand-painted Easter eggs. They have a very specific Easter basket with things that resemble the church, and they have their Easter basket blessed at the church. And so it's an interesting mix of, they do have an Easter basket, but it's not quite the same, and they do have Easter eggs, but it's not quite the same. So anyways, you guys tell us what all we missed, what else is different, and if you're living in a host country other than your own, have you adopted the ways of that country, or have you created sort of a blended celebration in your family?
Yes, or maybe if you just are a gringo living in the States and you celebrate Easter way different than us, let us know that too, because that's always super interesting to learn. But I think that's all we have for you. I'm sure, like Hillary said, there's probably 1,000 other differences, but we are still learning, and we are learning from you. We always learn more from you guys than you do from us. But thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, click the bell to get notified
every time
we upload a new video, and we will see you mañana.
Hey.
Oh, we will see you
mañana.
Bye.
Bye.
Are we getting up or sitting down?
I guess I was in down.
Bye. Happy Easter.